here you see something, this cloth is not only put here, but it was here all the time in former times. It was for closing up the living region, the dwelling region, against the stable and storing region. And of course you can see several wagons here, a coach. Many of the objects which were stored here 20 years ago or so, they were in very, very bad conditions. When we grab them like this, a plow, a wooden plow for instance, it was just falling apart. Now I would like to know one task that you have to find out. I will give you the light, and whoever is clever, Mike, please enter the stable. Yes, enter the door to the stable. I would like, this is a little bit tricky though, but Mike has to find out. You need to go through that door right there. And I will put on the light for you. So please. Well, I think he manages. He found the solution. Right. Just look around right here. You won't find insect attack in these boards up here because they were renewed after the treatment. But if you look at some of the pieces right here, you will see the very, very intensive attack by insects which was going on in former times. And these are some original timbers, not from the building period. We don't know how often timbers have been renewed in this section of the building. In former times, it has been the cattle, the horses, and the pigs in these stables. And of course, by their excrements and urine, they added to the atmosphere of the stable inside, yeah. And so they also added to the natural prevention against insects with ammoniac. The haubark is a very special construction. It is found in northern Germany in this way quite often, and it's a specific construction for storing hay and straw. So, haubark. Hau means hay, straw, and bark, of course, means prevent something. Bark it's not far away from barn. It also fulfills the property of a barn, a storage place. And of course, in autumn, when they harvested all the hay and straw, they were putting it up on this roof. So it was completely off from the soil, from the ground, from moisture. And it was also in the wind, so it could dry. It was completely, we have quite strong western winds here in this region, so it was naturally dried. They do it like this. They can, now it's all the way up, as you can see. But when they start out, they put the roof down by lowering each and every part. Count the corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So by successively lowering or lifting up each corner, you can lift up the roof construction and then put the straw very close and cover it with the roof.
Okay.
That's how it's done. And see the holes right there? So you can successively lift the roof. And if we look closely, there we have oak right here in the pillars. Here we have some softwood, and here we have the emergence holes of the house longhorn beetle. House longhorn beetle, our most important insect. Here we do have emergence holes in the oak of the deathwatch beetle. Remember the one that does the tapping noise?
Yeah.
Yeah? That is this beetle right here. I believe that the oldest pieces of timber, also you can see them with the carpenter signs right here. This is a carpenter sign. Can you see this? No, this V right here. Yeah? These seem to be the oldest parts of the haubark. And we have to move to this other building right here. But there are some specific holes right here. They are not insect holes. It's not attacked. It was attacked by men shooting with bullets. They were just putting up a screen right here and a plate.
Practice?
Yeah, and then they practice to shoot from maybe not from here, but from over there. Yeah. So, but this can, of course, we have spoken about holes in timber all the time and damages, and this is also damages. And of course, in modern times, it's the darts, of course. Yeah. It's also the handcraft of wheel makers, barrel makers, and so on. All this is shown here. See this? This is for hay and straw to sort out, and something like this was also used in former times for the soil, to loosen up the soil in former times. You have seen a lot of mills, and I think the two different types of windmills for the production of flour. And that is the one which is completely rotating. The mill completely rotates on a central support. Yeah? And then, of course, you have the other type of windmills where only the cap is rotating on a stable basic part. Those are the main types. But those are used for producing flour. This mill right here is in a very high position, and of course it's not the natural position, but it shows what this mill was made for. It was made for putting up the water from canals to higher fields and of course flooding those fields. And this was done by this famous Archimedean screw. That's one right there, and that is the old one right here. And of course the function is there's some kind of mechanic connection between the wings of the windmill and this device right here. And by rotating, the water from the lower part of the Archimedean screw is lifted up to the higher place. And this has been used for many centuries in this northern region, and it has been used in smaller size in other regions as well. So whenever you had a very negative geographical region with the water supply, then there were more mills like this, and smaller ones and so on.